everybody. Welcome, welcome. All right. How's everybody doing? Let people start to log on. I know we have a good crowd today, so we're going to give people a few minutes to get logged in.
Good morning, everybody. Kyle and Kit Kat, can you both send a message to people on your team? Amanda's not showing up today, but can you send out messages to your team? Shaylin, oh, Shaylin's already here, so just Madison needs to show up. Cool. And then Julie, can you send out messages to your team?
Sure.
Thank you.
Good morning and good afternoon to everybody, depending on where you are. I know it's start of the afternoon for me, but I know we're all over. Just giving everyone a few minutes to get logged in. How's everybody doing? Love the hype in the chat. All right, welcome, welcome everybody. And if you can, you feel comfortable, we would love if people can have their cameras on so that we can kind of see who our audience is. I know we have a ton of great audience members today. So if you are able, we would love to see your beautiful faces while we were having our conversation today.
Hi, Tami.
Hello, hello.
Good morning. How are you? How's your morning going?
It's great. Provided I just got the death wheel on one of my other Macs, but you know, we'll deal with it.
Oh no. Well, at least this laptop is working for you, or this computer is working for you.
Yes, thank God for my backups. I hope everyone is doing well on this fine Saturday.
Yes, we're so excited to have you. We've been telling everybody about you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the support.
Yeah, we've literally been like, Tami, LaTrell, Grammy-nominated songwriters coming to speak to us this weekend.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I'm Alexi. I'm the CEO and founder. I'm Jenna's backup, but Jenna will be moderating today.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Jenna.
Hi, Jenna.
So nice to finally meet you. And welcome everybody. I know I am super excited about our conversation today. I think everyone is too. I'm seeing some hype in the chat, some excitement for our talk today. So we're just giving everybody a couple minutes to get logged on, and then we'll get started.
Tami, where are you located?
So I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been here, this is my second time back. I've been here since 2013. I first moved in 2006 and stayed for 2 years, and then went back to my hometown, Houston, Texas. Stayed there for a few years, and I was like, I got to get back to Atlanta.
Yep. Do you like Atlanta better because of the music scene, or did you like Atlanta better for another reason?
Definitely for music. That was my motivation, just because when I came back in 2006, you know, my publishing company, Sony ATV, which is now Sony Music Publishing, it was EMI at the time. Mm-hmm. They had offices here, and it was just easier for me to navigate go from studio to studio, and they would set me up in different sessions and stuff. And so, it's kind of different when you're in Texas and they're like, hey, can you be at the studio tomorrow at 6 o'clock? And I'm like, so that was definitely the motivation. But I will say this, Atlanta, from the time I first moved here, it was a bit of a culture shock for me, just because growing up in Texas all my life, we pretty much were the minority, people of color. So, you don't really walk into a courthouse or, a tax assessor's office and see people that look like you, and it was very different when I moved here to like go to the Superior Court, Fulton Superior Court downtown, and like take care of my registration and all that stuff. And I'm like looking at all these Black judges on the wall, and it was just like, whoa, like
it's empowering, it's inspiring.
It was so very empowering and inspiring. And then, one thing about Atlanta that I love, you can just do so much. It's just so much to do, from, you can go hiking, up Stone Mountain. You can like go hiking at the Roswell Falls, and then there's a waterfall at the end of it. And, you can go to Lake Lanier, and go out on the beach and watch fireworks, every holiday, go out there for July 4th or Memorial Day or something. It's just always something to do, provided, the cost of living, it's definitely better than New York or LA, or Miami, because I tried there too. I, went there for a month or so and was like, okay, I'm good.
That's good to know, because my partner wants to move to Miami, and I'm like, I don't want to move to Miami.
Oh man, I just don't like the idea of one way in and one way out. That is what kills me. Like having to just drive, and if I need to turn around, I gotta drive all the way back in to get back into the country. It's just too much. But yeah, I really love Atlanta just for its diversity. And like I was saying, for people of color, it is just a melting pot of all of us, from different backgrounds and, cultures. And, it's really a solid place for people to have a dream, to come here and be inspired by others pursuing their dream, without all of the feeling of like, can I do this? Am I good enough? Because you see so much of it happening around you. You don't even question yourself. Like, like, I can do this.
It's possible.
Exactly. And so that's what Atlanta definitely has done for me. And for a lot of my colleagues as well.
Yeah. How many people in here do we have from Atlanta? Or raise your hand if you're from Atlanta. Anybody from Atlanta in here? I think Tiffany is the only one from Atlanta here. Hey, Tiffany. And then who is anybody from LA? Raise your hand. Kit Kat, nice. Houston, raise your hand. Nobody from Houston? New York, raise your hand. Where's everybody from? Tony, where are you from?
I'm in DC right now. Hi guys, first of all.
Hi. Hello.
You said you're in DC?
But I am not from here.
Where are you from?
I'm from actually Athens, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And right outside of Memphis, Tennessee, Collierville.
Nice. Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you, Tony. This is your first time on our event, right?
Yes.
Are you an artist or a songwriter, singer?
All
Both?
of them.
Oh, amazing. Welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Calabria?
Hi, it's Calabria.
Hi, Calabria. Welcome. Where are you from?
Detroit.
Nice to meet you. Are you an artist, singer, songwriter?
I'm a classical singer and a vocal coach.
Ooh, I want to listen to everybody's music. Hopefully we have some time to bring in some additional music afterwards. It's nice to meet you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Who else do we have that's new? Vanille. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, Vanille.
Hi, Vanille. Welcome. Where are you from?
I'm from Florida.
I know you're a singer-songwriter. We're playing your music later.
Oh, awesome.
Cool. Welcome. I think it is about time for us to go ahead and get started. Jenna, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, awesome. So welcome everybody. I'm going to pass the mic over to Jenna, and thank you so much, Tami, for coming.
Thank you for having me again.
All right, we are going to get started. Welcome everyone to our conversation with Grammy-nominated songwriter and all-around beautiful human being, Tami LaTrell.
Thank you.
I'm going to be your host today. I'm Jenna Solomon, and I'm so excited to have you all here for what I know is going to be a really amazing conversation. Today, we're going to be talking to Tami about all things songwriting, music publishing, entrepreneurship in the music industry. So if you haven't already, I would grab a pen and a notebook and be ready to take some notes, because I know we're going to have a ton of great advice and info for you guys today. And also, just so you guys know, at around probably 12:40, 12:45-ish, we'll open up the floor for some questions. So if you have any as we're talking, just make sure you jot those down, and you can raise your hand when we get to the Q&A portion, and I'll call on you guys and you can ask Tami some questions. So let's get this going. To give you all a little bit of background, Tami LaTrell is, as I said, a Grammy-nominated songwriter who has written for everyone from Monica to Keisha Cole to Miss Whitney Houston herself. She had her first publishing deal with EMI Music Publishing and is now with Sony ATV Music Publishing. And in 2018, she launched the music administration company, the Mezzo Agency, which does catalog management, royalty collection and distribution, and creative and music licensing for songwriters, artists, and producers. And she's a huge advocate for music rights protection for songwriters. So Tami, thank you so much for being here to share all of your knowledge with us. And do you want to tell us just a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much covered it, but, you know, just to piggyback off of that, you know, I have definitely had my experience in the business as far as from a creative standpoint, understanding what really matters to us as creatives, and being able to transition that and kind of pivot over into the music publishing, the business side of songwriting, I think has been a pleasure for me, because I'm very passionate. Like you were saying, me being an advocate, I'm very passionate about the needs that creators face and that we have. I will be honest, I'm very protective over my writers and clients that I work with, because I've seen just countless stories of songwriters and producers get taken advantage of. I feel that we are very underserved. And I also believe that we are the most valuable, because without a songwriter, without a producer, you do not have a song for the artist to promote, to sing, to market, for the record label to release, for a commercial to pick that song up, for it to be licensed in a commercial or a film. You know, it starts with the creative. It starts with the songwriter. It starts with the producer. Those hours and hours of laboring in the studio, hoping for an opportunity. And, you know, I just feel like we're at a place now where there has to be more people such as myself to really, you know, take it serious. But until more people come out, I'll be holding the flag, and I'll be representing well, because not only do I, you know, come from a place of being an expert of just knowing the business, but also I'm a creative. So I speak the same language. You know, my producers and songwriters who are signed to the Mezzo Agency come to me, you know, obviously not understanding everything about the business, but they can come to me from a creative aspect, and I know exactly what needs to be done on the business side to help bridge the gap. A lot of times when songwriters and producers are faced with a business issue and they're mainly a creative, it starts getting really cloudy up here, and they're like, okay, do I need to hire an attorney? But man, I might not have the money, or I don't have a manager. So who do I turn to? And then next thing you know, the song is out, making millions, and they're sitting around not knowing who to call and who to follow up with, and missing out on, you know, all the money and opportunities that could have come from it. So like I said, we are an underserved music community, and I take it very seriously. And that's what I'm here to, you know, teach you guys if you are, you know, interested. And, I'm definitely welcome to all the questions that you may have as I go through with Jenna on, some of the topics that we're going to cover today. Please don't feel like you cannot ask a question. And then I'm always available for consultations one-on-one, because sometimes people are in situations where they don't necessarily want to talk about what is going on. Maybe it's a private project. Maybe it's a project that some people feel a little bit insecure and embarrassed about sometimes too, because they didn't have their business together. I had to sign NDAs with even celebrities that are well known that are like, look, don't let nobody know I'm really out here like this. Okay. But I need you to help me with this and that and that. And I've done it, so I'm open for consultations. You guys can go to my Instagram at Tami LaTrell and click the link in the bio. And there is an option for a 30-minute consultation or an hour consultation if you weren't able to get through today.
That's amazing. Yeah, I feel like, especially now where so much has changed in the way that music is like distributed and consumed, it's really hard to know like what you need to do, what eggs you need to get in a row, because there's just so much with all the DSPs and all the ways to consume music now. So that's incredible that you are providing those resources to people.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right, I think we're going to get started with some of the questions. And before we do, I just want to say that we have a contact sheet in the chat box for everybody who's at the event today to network. So make sure at some point you get your info in there, your social links, all that, so that you guys can connect and network with each other after the event. And we're going to get started with some of the questions. So my first question for you, Tami, is just how did you get your start in the music industry? And just what has your journey kind of looked like to get to where you are now?
I started about 15, 16 years old. So that was probably 1997, 98. I'm telling my age. I'm 38. I'm not ashamed to tell my age, by the way. But yeah, I started really young singing in girl groups and talent shows and all that stuff. I was the kid at the family reunion that was always dancing, and auntie is giving me the microphone. My mom sing a song, So I started, that young and early. I knew that the music industry was definitely a part of my future. I can recall the youngest age, I was about 5, maybe 6 years old, sitting in front of our TV in the evening time watching Video Soul on BET. And I tell this story because I promise you, like, I mean, it was like a channel that consisted of people of color, Blacks, in particular, that were singing and dancing, and that was kind of like the only channel we had. Everything else was different. And it just goes to show just how much color is an issue still to this day, right? But we grew up off of BET. And so I just remember, like, I'm gonna be on BET one day. I was watching Whitney Houston and like Bobby Brown and and it's ironic how they ended up being together, but Michael Jackson and Prince and just all the greats and all the girl groups from SWV to Escape. And, as we got older, we grew with BET. And so, but that's the earliest memory of me knowing that I was like, I had to be a part of this. So I started songwriting because in Houston, we didn't really have, a hub for songwriters and producers. We had our culture is, we have a screw culture that we were kind of founded on, but of course we still had, like the Ghetto Boys and Rap A Lot Records and all that stuff, but it was mainly rap and hip hop. So once the screw culture came around and DJ Screw became very popular, that was a part of our culture where the only R&B you would hear, of course, would be on the radio, or maybe DJ Screw chopped and screwed the R&B. And so that was like the new thing. But there were a few songwriters and producers, not many. And so I ended up having to write a lot of my songs. By the time I was 16, 17, I was with Brooke Valentine. We were in a girl group together. She's also from Houston. Shout out to my sister. And we were in a group for a few years and, did some shows and traveled and did choreography and all that stuff. And both, we all went our separate ways, but it was mutual. And I became a solo artist and I signed with an indie label. And, from there I was dancing, singing, rapping. So I was like a triple threat. I knew I was in my mind, I was like, I'm going to be the next, I'm going to be the biggest. And so, yeah, I about a year later, I realized that the label, it just wasn't really a healthy situation for me. I always found myself trying to defend myself all the time for certain things that weren't done on my behalf as an artist that was signed to the label. And then I started seeing that the label really ultimately just didn't know what they were doing, quite frankly. And it's so many labels out there like that. And it's no diss, that just is what it is. Sometimes people just have a dream and they don't necessarily know how to do it effectively. They just do it. And a lot of times people involved get affected negatively by it. And so I decided to walk away from the situation. I had a full scholarship. I graduated high school with a 4.1 GPA. And I got a full scholarship to go to Texas Southern University, which is my alma mater, HBCU in Houston. And I just was like, I'll be okay. My mom wants me to go to college, and I really need to fulfill that dream anyway, just in case anything were to happen. I need to still, I would like to have my degree. And so I did that. And then my mom calls me while I'm in my dorm and says that Whitney Houston is on the radio singing one of my songs. And I was like, huh? What do you mean? Like, I'm confused. It was just a real odd moment, because it's like Whitney Houston and me in the same sentence, number one. then it's like, this is a real situation where she has sang all of my songs. This wasn't like she took an idea and then made her own song. No, it was the exact song, the exact track. Everything was exact. She probably changed like 2 or 3 lines and threw her name in there, just because it was so relevant to all the controversy that she was dealing with at that time with, just being in the media. She had lost a lot of weight and, it was just a lot. And so God rest her soul. But yeah, it was just a weird, odd moment that I was in shock for, I had to kind of sit in my dorm and was just like, get my bearings together. But ultimately, I had started calling a few colleagues and they were like, hey, if this really happened to you, you should be able to track the guys down. Come to find out, it was the record label that I was signed to that I left. They took my song and had been shopping it around. And Whitney heard it and she liked it. It was relative to what she was going through and she purchased it. And they were like, well, the girl that wrote it is no longer part of the label. We own all the rights and all that. But what they didn't know is that I owned the original copyright. So before I left the label, I had copywritten all of my songs and registered them with the Library of Congress. And so from there, I was able to, speak for myself, like, hey, we need to sit down and discuss what this is going to look like, because what I don't want to do is have to go to court. It's very early. And so I met with the CEO at the Cheesecake Factory, just he and I, and here I am like 18 years old having a meeting with a grown, like, oh man, like, okay, what we gonna do, So that's exactly what, what I did. And we ultimately came to a 33 1/3 split, fairly for everyone on the song. And we were able to, I was able to get paid royalties and leverage my publishing off of that for the rest of my life. So from there, I started working with other producers and songwriters in the Houston area. And then I started traveling a bit more. And then I met another producer who was signed with EMI in Houston. He was a producer, had been producing for Beyonce. And he was like, man, you really dope. Like, let's try to like get you a pub deal so you can like really focus on songwriting. I know you're in school, but I don't want you to have to like get a job and all that stuff. Let me just hook you up with my people at EMI in LA and let's get you a pub deal. That way you can really focus on school and writing. And so literally all throughout my college years, I was coming in, studying, being in class, and then that weekend having to fly out and go to LA for a writer's retreat or go to New York or, just really like getting immersed in 2 different worlds. But I still made time to have the HBCU experience every now and then. I did attend a few college parties. And, I had roommates for like my first year, and then I got my own place. Of course, I was just like, I'm out of here. But yeah, it was great. Once I got my publishing deal, that really opened me up to a lot of opportunities to be able to travel and network and meet some of the dopest songwriters and producers from all over the world. I never forget, I was sitting in a room and I'm like, oh my God, Rodney Jerkins is right here. And LaShawn Daniels, my brother, rest in peace. was like to my right, sitting next to me, and Rico Love, and like, you know, it was just weird. And I'm looking at all these executives. I'm looking at Diddy and like L.A. Reid and Mark Pitts, and it was just, the experience was a lot for me. And I was usually the youngest and probably 1 out of 4 women. Everybody else were guys. You know, we would be in this huge, you know, room every year, just kind of like talking about, you know, what the record labels are looking for. And they would come and present to us and say, look, we know y'all the most sought out songwriters in the game, producers in the game. This is what we need. You know, we need these types of songs. Here are our new artists. So they would do presentations. Sometimes their artists will come. And it was just an overall great experience. And I have to send a special shout out to the boss in charge, Big John Platt, who signed me to EMI, which is now Sony Music Publishing, because he really laid the blueprint and the foundation, showing how he was rallying and like raising that flag for songwriters and producers for us to have better opportunities. He's still here with us. You know, now he's the chairman of Sony Music Publishing, and well respected, you know, very, very, very impactful and resourceful, and always compassionate about the needs of songwriters and producers. So he really like paved the way and laid a foundation for me to be who I am today.
Wow, that is, that's incredible. I can't imagine doing all of that at like 18, 19, being in college, and just being a real like signed songwriter. That's incredible. That's so incredibly impressive.
Thank you. It was a little odd at first. Some of my college friends are like talking about stuff that they're going through with their boyfriend, and like, you know, classes, and just, you know, it was just so many like college level experiences and stuff that we would deal with, you know, just kind of being in the dorms and on campus at different parties and things are going on. And it was a lot that I could not relate to. I was just like, I gotta leave. It's 24 hours, I gotta pack and be out of here. So, but it still made for, you know, like I said, I still did, you know, get involved and have that entire HBCU experience. And, you know, Texas Southern by far is one of the greatest HBCUs out there. So shout out to my alma mater, go Tigers.
That's amazing. And I'm sure, you know, a lot of times I feel like young people tend to really bring a lot of like new ideas and new energy and fresh, you know, vibes into the industry. So I'm sure being in college while you're doing all that, like you could draw a lot of inspiration from those experiences too.
Definitely. That is definitely what I did. I am very keen on like energy and, you know, and being, like I said, a compassionate person and being empathic and all that stuff. So I did draw a lot of my stories and songs from what I was surrounded by.
Yeah.
And even just going through my thing too, because I was a young adult and just trying to figure out life and where I fit. And I knew that I had a gift where I thought I was going to be full on an artist. I really realized that, oh my God, I can actually like just be a normal person and write songs and travel, still be able to, you know, do other things and have the freedom to, without necessarily being tied to a record label and, you know, having to be at their every beck and call, you know. I realized very young I was a rebel at heart. So certain things I'm just not gonna be okay with. I always do my own thing. I kind of, you know, am a loner, and I'm okay with that, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I think sometimes that's the best way to be. Be a rebel.
Yeah,
bring something new.
It works for me. It definitely is a part of, you know, me being able to preserve my energy, I believe, just as a person, just as a human being. And I have my moments where I have to, you know, appear, show up, show out, hug his babies, do all of that stuff. But, you know, I can be at home every day, be in my office, work, and then come on home, you know, go out maybe every other weekend or so. But you know, I'm just really settled in who I am and very confident in, you know, what I'm building. And yeah, it has worked for me. So I definitely want to keep the momentum going and not, you know, switch up and be something that I'm not.
Yeah, that's great. And I did want to ask you about the Mezzo agency and starting that. I know you founded that in, I believe, 2018. So what was that like? What were kind of your goals at the start? What are your goals now? How is that going?
Yeah, so backstory. About 2012, I had already moved back to Houston from Atlanta. I started a family with my daughter's father. And, you know, I was to a point where I had to stay connected. I felt like I was losing my connection with, you know, the music audience because I wasn't in Atlanta and I was just still trying to stay, I don't know if the word is relevant, but just stay connected, right?
Mhm.
I had a lot of people who knew that I was signed with the publishing company. And they would always reach out to me like, hey, I need your advice. I don't know how to register this song. And I don't know if I'm doing this right, or there's a song that's out that I didn't get credit for. So I found myself receiving all these phone calls and just, you know, people wanting help. And I'm a fellow creative, so I'm just going to openly give help. I love helping people and love, you know, really elevating and empowering people. You know, I've been empowered throughout my life through my family. And, you know, it's just something that's just a part of me. So I was like, you know what, let me do a YouTube video. YouTube definitely wasn't as big as it is now, but it was definitely a platform where if someone asked me about this ongoing question, what is a split sheet? What is this? How do I register my songs? I at least could send them a link and say, hey, watch this, you know? And so that was my whole logic behind it. How can I be informative and educate and help without it really slowing me down and I'm on the phone for 2 hours, you know? Plus by that time I was a mother. So, you know, time is limited when you are, you know, being everything to everybody. So, and a wife. So, yeah, I literally did this YouTube video in 2012, how to fill out a split sheet, understanding split sheets. And that was kind of like the beginning. And I didn't know that that was creating a platform for me to help other songwriters and producers. So that video started doing really well. And then I got a phone call a few years later that a college was using the video as a part of their music business curriculum. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. So then from there, I started getting, you know, interviews. People wanted to just kind of talk more about it because they, you know, obviously had a program that was going to be sharing knowledge about what I had been talking about. And of course, when they learned about my background, it was like, okay, cool. Well, can we just have you like for a full session? Can we fly you out? So I started doing that for a few years, just flying out of different universities and schools, music programs. And, you know, then about 2015, 2016, I started seeing that because of the emergence of streaming, there were a lot of songwriters and producers not understanding payouts and how those royalties work with the DSPs like Spotify and Tidal and Apple Music and all that stuff. I think Napster and it was another company at the time. What's the name of it? I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, so all these streaming companies, it wasn't as many as it is now, but there were just streaming companies out and no one really understood like what they were paying out per stream and how did that calculate up into a sale. And, you know, it was just so much that was unknown. So I started really diving into this because I saw how well my YouTube video was going. And I started just doing more videos and just creating content. And so that content ultimately evolved into me doing lives. And I was just like, you know what, let me really help some songwriters and producers with understanding how to collect these royalties that are out here that are unclaimed. So I was contacted by Songtrust. Shout out to Songtrust. They are partners of mine that I've worked with over the years. And they were like, hey, do you mind getting with us? You know, you have a great following on YouTube. Your engagement is really high on Instagram. And, you know, we really want to see if we could, you know, partner with you to get our mission out about, you know, being able to collect those royalties that are unclaimed. And so before you knew it, I had one client that had come to me and was like, hey, I'm on a multi-platinum project and I have no idea what my royalties are. And so I started working with him. And from that one client, we were able to recover over $90,000 in unclaimed royalties. Yeah, and that was like within a matter of 2 years, you know, that he just didn't know he had. In addition to all of his other money that was coming in that I was able to find for him through, you know, all the other partnerships and relationships that I have. So it started off with one client and now we are at 28 clients. And, and I literally, guys, 2018, December 2018, I started my LLC and got all that established. By the end of 2019, I was like, oh my God, we really have a business here. I had maybe about 8 or 9 clients. last year during the pandemic, I literally worked from the same exact bedroom that you guys are looking at right now. And I was signing more writers and producers. You got to think about it. Like, as a creative who understands all the different sources of royalties, and then I identify with the creatives that don't understand, but they have them out there, I immediately, without hesitation, took it as my job to help them. That's how my company was founded. It wasn't based on, oh, I'm gonna get a portion of their money. Because guys, my admin company only charges a 15% commission. Okay, so if I were to recover in a year for you $100,000, I'm only bringing home $15,000. Like, I can't live off of $15,000. I'm sorry. I have a 13-year-old who's very athletic and hungry all the time. Okay, so this is not a money thing here. This is actually my passion to help songwriters and producers identify and find unclaimed money, go after it. And also, in addition to that, we provide a la carte services such as copyright, such as song registration, catalog management. If they are an indie artist and they're getting ready to release their project as an indie label, they have to operate with that mindset. So we help them with setting up just the basic business side on the sound recording side and on the publishing side to make sure that all of that is taken care of. So that's what the Mezzo agency is. And I called it the Mezzo because, you know, obviously it has a musical connection, you know, dealing with the staff, but also, you know, the mezzo in Italian is the middle. And I'm always in the middle of my clients and their money. Or getting them the resources that they need. It may not even be just the money. It may be that I need to connect them with someone, or they need me to help them understand the business of music. And so, you know, my clients can call me and we talk about whatever questions they may have. I help them understand publishing. I've even typed up like a one-pager for one of my clients just to be like, look, when you have some downtime, read this line by line so you can understand what it is that we are doing for you. And so that's what it means to me. I mean, it's a part of my purpose and my calling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. I feel like, you know, so often there can be a disconnect between, like, you know, the business minds and the executives and the creatives, but both are really important to making the music industry work. So when you have these people that understand both sides and can kind of be the bridge between them, that's so important to just keeping the industry running and making sure the creatives are getting their due, getting their recognition and compensation for the important work that they're doing for the music industry.
It still work. I mean, like, y'all, I have so much in the pipeline that I'm planning on doing, because at the end of the day, this is labor. This is work that we are putting out as creatives. And there has to be a better way for our work and our time to not be overlooked, especially when there are placements that are coming out of it. I can see if you are a songwriter and you're just, you know, kind of pursuing your goals, you know, working and being creative with other songwriters and producers, collaborating, and the songs really aren't going anywhere, or, you know, maybe you're just doing it for the fun of it to see how it goes. But when you have achieved a placement and you have established yourself as a professional, you should definitely be compensated. And I don't want the excuse of I didn't know to be what we wear anymore. We need to empower and change our mindset to be both business oriented and creative. And I'm not expecting any songwriter or producer to know the business as much as I do. Obviously, I've been in it for a very long time. But if you don't understand and you don't know, don't be afraid to talk and reach out and, you know, book a consultation, invest in yourself, or stop by my office here in Atlanta. Let's go over your goals, go over your issues that you're having with whatever you're not understanding or something that happened to you. And then from there, you know, we provide resources to help. And so another thing about, you know, the Mezzo agency is that we are bringing business back to Atlanta when it comes down to the music industry. At one point, like back in 2006, there were so many publishing companies here. So many record labels were here that were really supportive. And a lot of it now is just studios everywhere. And we love studios, right? But a lot of songwriters can't afford to be in the bigger studios. They have home studios. Okay, things have changed. So what that means is we have more songs coming out. We have more songs being created in someone's bathroom, someone's closet, someone's bedroom that's coming out. It's being mixed, released, but there's no music business behind it because no one is actually, well, except me, No one is actually really putting it out there, just how important the songwriter and producer should be appreciated for the value of their work. And so that's what the Mezzo Agency is doing for Atlanta. We are Atlanta's source for music administration.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that invest in yourself idea. I feel like that's so important to remember, and especially now that so much of music has changed. And yeah, people are making music in their bathroom and it's going viral on TikTok, and then they're getting record deals. Like,
we see it every day. I mean, I'm not speaking anything that I'm just pulling out the air. This is what we are seeing every day.
Yeah.
Like, people, it does not take a huge studio to make a hit record anymore. It just doesn't. That's a facade. It's a myth. I love studios. I've been in them all my life. But you know, we are just at a different time. And with streaming being the way it is now, you know, music is quickly digestible. People are able to find it. They're able to engage, fall in love with the song, and go to another song. They don't even have to like fall in love with you as an artist. They want to just listen to the song that they like. And so what that means is consumption is at an all-time high. And then we have other opportunities where songwriters and producers and artists can upload their own material. They don't have to go through a record label to be distributed anymore. So what does that mean? You have an influx of music just everywhere. So you could imagine how big the landscape has grown in music and entertainment, to where now on the music business side, we have to catch up. We're very behind. And so that's definitely what my focus is with the Mezzo Agency.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so, so important with the way that the music industry is now.
Yeah.
So we've talked about a lot of great stuff, and I do want to give people some opportunities to ask you some questions. So if you guys do have any questions, you can raise your hand and I will call on you and you can ask Tami your question. And also just make sure that, like, if it's not your turn to ask, keep your mic muted just so everyone gets a chance to speak and to ask Tami what they want to know. So Tony, do you want to ask your question?
Hello. Okay, so I'm still formulating this question in my mind, but I didn't want to miss the chance to ask it. So when it comes to, because you know labels have really big budgets.
Right.
And you mentioned what's going on now is that home studios are more prevalent and people are not going really in the label direction. So how do you compete with the budgets that labels have? Like, is your agency able to bring in that level of money for artists who are working from home?
So we are not a record label. We are a publishing administration, music administration company. So from the standpoint of handling business for your indie label, we would be able to provide that to you. For the sake of being able to connect you with a record label or distributor or someone who has a budget to fund your project, we are also able to connect you with that. But our foundation and our business model is that we are here as your supportive admin team to make sure that before you release your project, you know, do you have your ISRC codes? Do you own them? Are you registered with a distributor? Do you even know who you're going with? And why are you going with this distributor? Would you be open to, you know, possibly getting a budget to go towards your project for marketing? And if you are, then what are you willing to invest on your side to do that? I have the resources to connect you with those type of people, but we are, like I said, we're in the middle of it. So we don't necessarily provide you with the ability to compete with record labels, because that's not my business model. My business model focuses on making sure that your business is set up correctly before you release. And I would strongly, strongly say that from the sound recording side, which if you're operating as an indie artist and you're releasing your own material, that's on the master recording, sound recording side. You definitely want to focus on marketing. Marketing is going to be your driver. So utilizing networks like TikTok, you know, these social media networks that have really helped build engagement and grow fan bases naturally. Of course, they got Trilla out there, TikTok, of course, Instagram and Instagram Reels and all the other platforms and different entities that have expanded from them. I think that needs to be considered in addition to making sure you have a marketing campaign. And then there's just so many companies that offer marketing services that we could connect you with, for the sake of you wanting to have a successful run on your release. Now, from the publishing side, which is the other side of the song, other side of the business, you would utilize our services to make sure that all of your ducks in a row to be able to be set up to collect all the royalties that are owed to you, so that when you do release, and that marketing plan and that budget is, taking you to the next level and getting your songs and your notability and your brand out there, the more focus you put on marketing, you're going to see the result of that on the royalty side, on the publishing side. And so we would make sure that your company is set up to collect, we'll make sure that you have an entity, not just as a writer, but also as a business, a publishing company. And then, of course, just make sure that we're collecting globally for you. Also, licensing opportunities can come possibly from, us using your song in a way that, if we do an admin deal with you, we can actually start shopping and pitching your records to other opportunities that come across our table if we feel, that they fit. And so as an administrative company, we would help to facilitate and negotiate with you and the company on your behalf, just to make sure that you get a fair share, your ownership, your paperwork, your license agreements are thorough, and, also protect you and your rights and your copyrights. And so we would just make sure from the admin side that all of that is taken care of. If you are working as a songwriter with other producers and songwriters, and there's a issue with publishing splits, you would call us and help us. And we would help you with making sure that you're very clear on what your ownership is, what your rights are. If you are dealing with a situation where you got a song placed and they still haven't done your publishing splits, they still haven't sent over your agreement, you would call us and we would help you with making sure that that is done and taken care of on your behalf. So that's what our business model is. We don't really desire to compete in the landscape of record labels, I have had my fair share of experiences with them, and fortunately, they're just not as needed anymore if you are really serious about building your fan base organically and online, engaging with your fans, creating and incentivizing them to listen to your music and to buy into you as a brand on the label side. It can be done. We've seen tons of artists from, your Childish Gambinos to Russ. We've just seen so many people from an independent standpoint who have evolved into major success without necessarily having a huge backing from a record label.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question, Tami?
Yes, it did. Okay. And more.
Okay. I'll be talking to you soon, right?
Yes, I don't know if soon, because I have some things that I need to do, but
well, that's okay. That's okay. You got to start somewhere. But when you feel like, you know what, I need to reach out to her and kind of get some things, if it's just direction, definitely hit me up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony, for that question. Up next, Josh, do you want to ask your question?
Yes, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm a student studying to work in the music industry, and I just wanted to know if you had any insight on how to get connected with people higher ups and learning about how to just be educated about different parts, because I feel like with publishing it's hard. Most people just know about record labels, or they know about manufacturing for different CDs and stuff. So
well, my question to you, Josh, would be, what have you done to educate yourself on the business of music?
I come to conferences like this. I take classes.
Mm-hmm.
I just like research online with YouTube videos and stuff.
And there you go. I was just about to say, do you know my friend YouTube? Do you talk to Google? Okay, because me and Google, we got a relationship. Okay, I Google so much. It's like that friend in your pocket, right? On your phone and in your purse. So, I was gonna say, somebody said Google is my bestie. Okay, so I was gonna say, right now, while you are still in school and you are learning about the business, really investing in yourself by learning and digesting so much of the free material that's out there. Of course, you want to fact check and make sure that the people you're getting this information from are actually real experts, I'm very big on sourcing, you know, where my information comes from. But yeah, I would say do exactly what you've been doing, you know, educating yourself, staying empowered, and then internships that come up, you definitely want to apply and get a part and be a part of it. You know, the Mezzo agency, we do have an internship program that's open right now, preparing for the summer. So if any of you guys are in Atlanta and would like to work on site, or if you are virtual and you would like to be a part of it, feel free to, you know, reach out to me, and we'll get you an application to prepare for the upcoming season. But I would just say that, like, publishing is, I wouldn't say it's hard to understand, because it's very straight to the point. You know, you have a 100% of a song, and that 100% of a song has to be divided up on how many contributors actually put in work to complete the song. So if you understand split shares and ownership and just kind of like the basics of it, it really is easy to get, but it's everything in between: the contracts, the rates, the royalties, all that stuff that becomes a little bit, you know, confusing at times, because unfortunately we don't have everything regulated to be like, this is law, this is by the book, this is what needs to happen. I mean, we got to keep in mind here that streaming came out of nowhere. And unfortunately, the music industry in the United States, we're not prepared. And that's why you had so many of these streaming companies going straight to the record labels, brokering these deals, not complying with any of the copyright laws that we already have established here in Congress in the US, okay? Not to mention our laws of copyright were so outdated that it wasn't even a discussion. The streaming companies just came in, took over, offered these labels the money, got the catalogs, put them on their streaming platforms, and started connecting directly with you to get you to consume the music. There was no law on how it should have been done. They literally came over here and just took over. And so that, to me, is what has confused a lot of executives, songwriters, producers. I mean, we're all in this just trying to figure it out every single day, because it changes, you know? And so with that being said, I would strongly suggest you guys, you know, stay focused on, if this is something that you're really passionate about, stay focused on learning about the business and how it's changing, and be very flexible and fluid to be able to listen, learn, adjust. You know, you can't always think that it's going to be just one way all the time, because it won't. It changes daily. You know, I'm forever, if you look at my page on Instagram, I'm forever like posting what's happening in the news as far as like copyright law, in addition to, you know, streaming giants that are, you know, making changes to their platform and all that stuff, because it affects us all, and we have to be in the loop if this is the business that we desire to be in. So I would definitely strongly suggest you, you know, really do more research, stay engaged, apply yourself, and get attached to programs that will allow you to get that experience that you need.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you for that question, Josh. I feel like that's, as a student also, you know, that's so relevant to people up and coming in the music industry, just trying to soak up all the knowledge they can and really make sure they're ahead of the curve as things are changing so quickly. All right, Amber, did you want to unmute and ask your question?
Yes, thank you. Hi, y'all. Thanks, Tami, for being here.
Hi,
Nice to meet you. My question is about the publishing. So I'm an artist of the spoken word, and I do poetry with the music. And I've been around for a minute, but I'm just getting back into the flow of my work. And I'm trying to figure out how you end up owning your own publishing. And then if the works have already been, like, it's been copywritten for years, but just now starting to put them out there. As well as I have stuff on YouTube when YouTube started back in 03. So how to recoup all those royalties from people who have posted them, people I did stuff with back in the day. So
yeah,
that's pretty much just what I need to figure out.
Are you affiliated with the PRO like BMI or ASCAP?
Yeah, I registered with them back in 2002. So yeah.
Okay. You registered all of your songs that you've released with them?
I've had them copywritten, but that's the part I got to get the numbers, all that together, because it's been so long, but it's the same stuff coming back to the light now. So
yeah, so the first thing I would say is if you are trying to get royalties from those songs, then you definitely need to have split sheets for each of those songs so that you can have it identified who contributed what. So if you're the spoken word artist and you actually spoke over music to make that complete work, then you would have to give a portion of your of the song ownership to whoever produced the music for you, and then you would keep the lyrical portion. So that is what is comprised of 100%. You guys would get 50-50 each. And so that's what your split sheets need to reflect. You of course need to make sure they're registered with the PRO, like BMI or ASCAP, and you guys do your splits from there. I strongly suggest BMI. It's just easier from a writer standpoint. And I think for writers, it's free anyway. So you can just have the producer sign up as a writer, which is still a producer in publishing language. But a producer and a writer is technically a writer in the publishing world. We always say songwriters, but it means songwriter and producer. So once y'all are all registered, then you would register those songs with BMI. Every song will have you and that other musician or producer, and you guys would each split that 50-50. And then you would need to also sign up with an admin company to be able to collect. Because did you release it on is it on streaming platforms?
This is like on YouTube. It was on YouTube, and then
okay. So yeah, so from YouTube, you definitely would need to register. You can either register with the MLC, or you can register with an admin company, and I'll put in the information in the chat box. Or if you want to reach out to me directly to kind of help you organize everything and get you all registered as well, because since you're releasing this now, there may be only I don't know how many views it's gotten on YouTube and what the streams look like, but there is a statute of limitation on how far you can go back for royalties. Usually it's like 3 to 4 years statute of limitations. So we would need to definitely do some research on the songs or the lyrical pieces, the poems that you've released. But regardless, you still need to have the songs registered, because you never know, they could get picked up for a licensing opportunity for a film. And, if they're not registered, with anyone, they won't even know who to contact to find out how to use it, So I would definitely strongly suggest that. And then like I was saying, coming to dealing with me and my agency, or if you decide that you want to sign up with the Song Trust, they're really more royalty collection. So they're not going to help you with catalog management and all that stuff that we do. But we'll be there to help you and walk you through the process.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
In touch.
Thank you for that question, Amber. And I think we have time for about one more, but anybody who doesn't get to ask their question today, I know, as Tami said, you can book sessions with her if you have more specific questions for her and about what she does. So you'll definitely have more opportunities to reach out and ask your questions. But Elsie, do you want to finish us off for the Q&A?
Yeah, I do think Justin was before me, so if he wants to, I can, but I can also ask my question. So yeah, thanks for calling on me, but I did know that.
Sorry, yeah, it's hard to keep track of who's coming up with.
But yes, thank you, Tami. Yeah, Justin, if you want to go.
Elsie, you are so sweet. Thank you. I was looking forward to your question too, though. Shout out to FM. You guys are awesome. Always having wonderful people on. Miss Tami, you are amazing. I'm an HBCU attendee, NCANT. So shout out to them. I love that you brought that up.
Okay.
So a lot, but I have a 2-part question. One is, with Song Trust's new LOD, letter of direction for producers, mixers, and engineers, have you been using that? Because if I'm not mistaken, I found out about it last year, and I think it's still relatively new. So I just wanted to get some insight on your experience using it and how it's worked out.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Song Trust cannot collect for you without an LOD. LODs are very important because it dictates where the PRO is going to send the royalties. And they have to be able to have some type of authorization from you as the creative to be able to collect on your behalf if you are working with Song Trust. So an LOD, whether you were with them, me, any other admin publisher, you have to have an LOD on file. That's not new. That's actually something that's a part of usually a contract. When you sign with a publishing company, you have to fill out an LOD. that is a part of the contract. Usually you'll have your you'll have your your schedule. I'm in law school, so I'm just like thinking of like cases and stuff, but you would have your Schedule A, which is going to be a list of all your songs that you've contributed in that publishing deal, or that you're going to contribute in addition to your LOD, so that they can go after those royalties and have the right to collect on your behalf. So that's not new. That's actually just standard.
Got you. Okay. And my second question is, how do I set up a consult with you directly? Because you were hitting on so many things that I'm dealing with now, but then having second thoughts about maybe I should go with you rather than other opportunities. Just
Sure.
the knowledge.
My Instagram, I'm at Tami LaTrell, TamiLaTrell. Just click the link in my bio, and there'll be definitely options of how you can sign up and book a consultation. Once you sign up and pay for the consultation, it'll take you directly to my calendar, and you can choose the date and time that works for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Thank you for that question. And Elsie, did you want to ask your question real quick as well? I think we have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I was like literally typing it, but I can ask it now. So I am an artist and a songwriter, and actually really love the songwriting part and looking to kind of like set myself up better there. So I'm fully independent, and I actually have myself registered as a publisher and a writer with my PRO. So my question is around something I think you maybe even briefly mentioned when you were answering another question, which was how important it is then to like set up my own entity, because I don't have like that set up. You know, I have kind of like a name for the publishing company that's set up with the PRO, but not something like officially like an LLC or a sole proprietorship. So just wanted to.
Great. So here's the thing. This is why it's important for you guys to be set up as an entity. For one, because you want to be able to collect as a company, as an entity that separates you from your personal other income that may have nothing to do with your music. If you are still working at a job and you have money that's coming in that you pay taxes on, you know, the income that you receive from your entity, you know, if you were to create an LLC for your publishing company, all that should be registered with the IRS, have your own tax ID, so that as you file taxes for your income reported from, let's say for instance, your job, or if you're like an independent contractor, you also still have this other entity that you can get tax write-offs on, okay? That you're able to kind of position yourself from a place of, you know, being able to determine, you know, this is the money that I have received from this business, but this is also the money that I've spent. You know, even if you have not taken a loss, but sometimes the first couple of years you're taking a loss trying to build your business, reporting all this income, and you don't have an entity that will allow you, well, the tax classification allows you to be able to write those off, then, you know, is no point for you to, you know, have income and can't balance it out when you're trying to start your business. That's separate. Like I do consultations, and, you know, I speak at different events, and a lot of times, you know, that is my personal income, you know, because people are buying to me person as the brand. So that's completely separate from the middle, is receiving income from, you know, that are coming in from my client. And even if it was just my songs in those catalogs, I still treat my songs almost like real estate, you know? So if all my songs were in the mezzo, I wouldn't want them to be that income. I wouldn't want that to go into my individual personal pot, you know, appreciate what I'm making on the personal side. And about, as we talk, I was thinking about this yesterday, as a matter of fact, is even creating another entity for my brand, LaTrell, the brand, you know, just so from that, I'm able to get credit, business credit for mezzo, I'm able to leverage, I'm able to build, with that business credit, I'm able to buy more things in and not my name against my social security number, So you just have a lot more freedom and flexibility when you're operating as an entity compared to putting everything all in. That's why I 100% recommend you set up a LLC with your Secretary of State in your state, and then also get you an EIN for that number. For that company, open up a bank account using your tax ID as well as, your EIN, same thing. Your EIN and tax ID, take that to your bank with your LLC paperwork, open up your business account, and have all your royalties go in that account. All of your expenses, buying equipment, studio sessions, all that stuff, use that account. Even if you're taking money that you've invested or money that is coming in from your personal income and you're investing into your business, you still want to have everything tracked from your business side. That way, you know how much you're spending and how much you're making. And if this really makes sense for you, if you get booked for gigs, you want them to write the check, not in your personal name, in your business name, in your publishing company name, if you're selling your songs or if you're licensing your songs. So, and we don't sell songs, guys, so scratch that. We license our songs, okay? We don't sell songs. But I'm saying that because you want to keep that separate, and this is a business. This is not something that we're doing as a hobby. And if it is for you, then cool, but don't expect to be able to go after royalties, because if it's just a hobby, then you're just doing it for fun with no return, So yeah, that's what I would strongly suggest, is that you do set up your LLC. It is important for you to be established as an entity because it allows you to just have so many benefits that can work to, in your favor. And that also give you leverage whenever, you're to a place where, I need to buy a car, maybe I need to buy a tour bus or whatever. Buy it in your business name, because by now you would have built up credit. You've already, established yourself. You have royalties and money coming in, and you can afford that. Don't put it in your personal name and mess up your social security number, So I would definitely say that's important. I strongly suggest you do that.
Thank you.
Not a tax disclaimer, I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not an attorney. So, if I said something wrong, definitely seek out a CPA or a tax advisor. But as for me and what I have done, I know that was the first thing I did, was establish my LLC. From there, I got my tax ID, went and opened up my bank account. And from there, I set up all of my stuff with the PROs, and, we've been nonstop ever since. So.
Awesome. And did you consult with like an attorney or a lawyer when you were setting up, or you just did it?
I'm a bit of a bookworm, so I read everything. I read a lot. I'm a nerd. So I just went online and just went to the Secretary of State here in Georgia, set up my company, followed the instructions, paid the fee, and then went in to the irs.gov, and based on my classification, and it was free. So from there, I went to the bank. You don't attorney until you are actually seeking legal advice, or there's a lawsuit, and you don't necessarily need a tax preparer, CPA, bookkeeper, until you are ready to, organize your taxes and really, find out ways to position yourself, to be able to have more advantages as a business.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
These numbers are free. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not, unless you're paying a service for them to do it for you. Of course, they'll charge a service fee, but the tax ID itself from the IRS is free.
Thank you, Elsie, for that question. I feel like that's something that a lot of people probably don't understand if you're just a songwriter, you're just starting out. So that was a great question that I feel like will be helpful to a lot of people in the audience today. So I don't think we have time for any more questions, because we do want to get into our listening session. We have a lot of great artists that have submitted some music for us to listen to, and give them some feedback, some hype, some constructive criticism. So I am going to pass the mic over to our founder and CEO, Alexi, to DJ our listening session.
All right, everybody. How was that? Give me a thumbs up, raise the roof, chef's kisses, snaps, or something if you got something out of that. Ooh, I love this. Amazing. So I am glad that we were able to get through the interview and Q&A. This is actually our favorite part about these events on Saturdays is once we finish up with the educational side. So for those of you who haven't been here, including you, Tami, we always will have a listening session where folks can submit their music. They get a chance to get some feedback, as Jenna was saying, as well as just a chance for us to groove out to some good vibes, listen to some new music, meet some new people. So feel free to be interactive with it. If you like the music, obviously don't unmute yourself while everything's going on. But if you like the music, give us some snaps, give us some claps, give us a little woo woo. And if you don't like the music, don't say anything because we don't want to be mean to anybody, unless it's Tami. Tami can say something. All right, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. The first submission that we have today, let me just pull it up. 1 second, y'all. Bear with me. It's been a long time since I've done one of these listening or led one of these listening sessions. And also, Tami, if you are open to providing any feedback, then we would love that. If not, feel free to hang back and chill. You're welcome to do that as well. All right, everybody. So
for sure. Yeah, I'll be here listening.
Cool. All right. So the first song that we've got is Lottery by Mr. Julius, who is hanging out in the background at work. But we have about time for 1.5 to 2 minutes of each song. So please bear with me in regards to time. If anyone has to hop off early and we have their song in the queue, then just let me know via chat and I'll make sure to play it for you. All right, everybody.
What's your name?
It's Julius.
Lay your head down on my pillow, put some kisses on my neck. Ride this pony like a rodeo, won't let you catch your breath. It's that energy you're giving me, I'm winning, I'll take all bets. Every boss needs a right-handed girl, I'm standing on your left. Some kisses on my neck. Ride this pony like a rodeo, won't let you catch your breath. It's that energy you're giving me, I'm winning, I'll take all bets. Every boss needs a right-handed girl, I'm standing on your left.
All right, that was Lottery by Julius. I believe, Julius, that's a draft still, right? You're still working on that song?
Yeah, I just made the beat like 2 days ago and just started writing like when I had some free time for going to work.
Nice.
Thanks for all the game, by the way, Tami.
No problem. Look, I was impressed, and it felt good. Felt like a new summertime vibe, that you're working on. I think you definitely should finish it and reach out to me.
Definitely. I'll tap in. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. All right. So next up, we're going to go to Lottie. Lottie! Tami, Lottie said she wants the toughest criticism from
Tami,
you.
give me your worst.
Girl.
Give me your worst.
Okay.
Right.
Let me just refresh this really quick. All right, here we go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, right now I know you're to feel yourself. Coming for me like you're not the one in my house. But if they only knew who played in the background, leave a Louis at the door, then buy. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Tell me how you gon' flex without me. Don't you hit me up when you're down. When the door is open and out, you're going, baby. And boy, you know that karma ain't gonna run on me. You want it all, could cost you everything. Remember what I said. You can go and tell them you had it all, then you blew it. Said you wanna ride with me. Saw the other side, now you ain't tryna ride with me. Since you wanna act Hollywood, let's end this show for good. You ain't gotta ride with me. See, no, I'm a credit, imitating, but you swear you the real. Showing out, but you know I'ma kill it. You know you're wrong, don't respond when I text you, but you got the time to sign autographs, pose for pass, yeah. Give them all the facts, you won't post that. All the disrespect, that's a text, yeah. Somebody needs to call you back. You're going, baby. And boy, you know that karma ain't gonna run on me. You want it all, could cost you everything. Remember what I said. You can go and tell them you had it all, then you blew it. Said you wanna ride.
All right. What do we think, Tami?
So I definitely like the concept of like going, getting Hollywood. I just really wish the first verse kind of what he did to become Hollywood. I know you were kind of setting up the story, but it was more of a relationship that, how do I explain it? I think the second verse was a little bit stronger. When I started hearing about the Hollywood part, I'm like, okay, cool. It felt a little bit more clever in the second verse, but I feel like the first verse was kind of like, you're trying to set the foundation, but the concept really didn't stand out until we got to the hook. And so
Got you.
The verse,
there's more detail in the first verse.
Yeah, the verse needs to kind of get you prepared for the hook, you know? So the story needs to be a little bit more about what he's done to become Hollywood, or how it affected you that he became Hollywood. And maybe take some concepts from the second verse, because you kind of went into, all the things he was doing, like, signing autographs and stuff like that, or whatever that line was. Maybe some elements of that and how it made you feel could be used in the first verse. But I just felt like the first verse, it really didn't capture me, and I wasn't like what the concept was until I got to the hook and started hearing about going Hollywood, which I love. I like that whole idea.
Yeah. Thank you. No, I appreciate that feedback for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
But I think it's a great idea too. And I think, for it potential for sure. Just kind of go back and be a little bit more direct in your concept on the first verse.
Got you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And thank you for your support.
No, of course. I think you're amazing. I was so excited that you were coming today. So
awesome.
All right. Next up, we've got Vanille with Glimpse. Here we are.
You don't know I'm here, and it's quite alright. I'm so curious now, just wanna know what you like, and maybe catch a vibe. I hope you don't mind, 'cause then I won't be satisfied. It's cool when you come through. I like your mannerisms too. Don't even need to speak with you. Just checking out the little things you do. Yeah, I like your vibe. I hope you don't mind, 'cause then I won't be satisfied until I catch a glimpse of you. That's all I glimpse of you, done homelessly. Nothing more or less will do. That's all I need. It's just a simple glimpse of you, of you. Oh, yeah.
All right, that was Vanille. Thank you, Miss Vanille. I see that you said you thought you submitted a different song.
Yeah, I thought I sent. I thought I did the other one. I wasn't ready for that one, but it's cool.
What do you
Thank
think,
you.
Tami?
Very chill vibe. I wanted to give me a glass of wine and just kind of like relax for the rest of the day. It definitely put me in that mood. I think the production could be a little bit stronger compared to some of the things that you were saying, your lyrics and melody. Is that was you singing? Yeah, so I just felt like the production could have given you a little bit more support. And I don't know, it gave me like a Love Jones vibe. Like, I was listening to the soundtrack or something, so I think the potential, they definitely focus on, when you're performing as an artist, you want to just focus and make sure that your pitch is always on point too. If you're in a studio, the great thing about the studio is you can do take after take after take until your pitch is like perfect. So iteration, but from a songwriting standpoint, I did like the idea about, just catching a glimpse, of him, and I think it was solid enough for, you to improve, just with getting better production and keeping that in mind when you're performing the record. A lot of times as a songwriter, we may put so much emphasis on the lyrical standpoint that when we are an artist, sometimes we kind of, don't really put the energy there, but really focus on your vocals as well, as much as you focus on your lyrical contribution.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Good luck to you.
Awesome. All right. I'm loving this feedback. Tami, you are amazing, by the way. I don't know if you realize this, but everybody here loves you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I love helping in any way. I want you guys to present yourselves as your work. So anytime we have opportunity to be honest, and coming from a way that's constructive, definitely not, downing anyone. I think this is all amazing work. There's always room for improvement, and I think it kind of gives us the opportunity to have a field where we can actually talk amongst each other and get some great feedback and go back and execute.
Yeah, we have a few more songs. So for the folks that submitted, I'm definitely gonna try to get through all of you. We had about eight people, so we've got a couple more, so I'm gonna try to rush through them a little bit. GK, I'm gonna have you perform live in just a second, so I'm gonna do this one, and then I'll let you perform live if you're still here.
You ready, GK?
All right. Here we go. So next up we have, also this is a very eclectic group of music this week. So hopefully you all enjoy and you're grooving out in different ways today. Let's see, next up we have Marcos with Secrets. So let me just put this on. Sorry, y'all, give me 1 second, let me see. Hold on. All right, here we go.
Now that you've touched down, turn your love around. There's no space where you keep secrets. You'll be gone to find where the stars align. What started as a space so lovely, now that you've touched down, turn your love around. There's no space where you keep
is Mobius with Secrets.
So, okay, just so I'm able to understand. So is Mobius one person or is it a group?
Marcos,
who are we listening?
Yeah. So I produced it. Mobius is just me. I usually collaborate with a lot of other people. That was featuring another singer. But yeah.
Awesome. Production was outstanding. Definitely hear it, being mainstream for sure. My only criticism is that her auto-tune is in the wrong key. So there were certain notes that the auto-tune was catching and putting it in the wrong key.
It's like a little bit flat.
If we have to go tell you some of those parts, it was actually conflicting with the key. So vocally, she sounds dope, but I wouldn't want that to be what turns the song, off from a professional ear. If they're listening to it and trying to make a decision, they're going to put it in a film or, actually have it on a playlist, because it has that potential. But I definitely would go back and isolate all of the other sounds and go over that key to just make sure that that the auto tune is correct.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
Good job. Great job overall. Love the guitar, love the vibe of it. I really think that it has some potential.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, y'all. So we have a special surprise performance from Mr. GK. GK, you're sideways.
Hey, I am. I'm sorry. Hold on.
There we go.
Old school, analog, preferable. I wanted to thank everybody. Thank you, Tami. Thank you, Finesse, and everybody for the opportunity. This is an original song called Stumble. And hopefully my phone's not going to fall off this cliff. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. That's more than half the battle. I'm thinking, switching my drinking to a neat Southern whiskey, but I bet that's what you'll be sipping on tonight. And I couldn't get your lips off this broke shot glass kiss if I get into whiskey tonight. So I shot off on Jaeger, 'cause I felt some aches hurt, and I can't feel that no more. And I shot some tequila with a lovely senorita, but I only shot twice. Then I slept outside, thought about calling you, but I wanna give you space just like you wanted to. So I just catch you later. I'm gonna get so drunk too. Wine's too kind for me tonight. I need something wrong to get it right. And I can't feel this no more. Won't need no coffee till the morning light. Fixing to get drunk all damn night, till I can't feel this no more. I stumble, I fumble, thinking about you. I fumble, I stumble, drinking about you. I fumble, I stumble, feeling too much about you. there's more, but I want to respect people's time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, GK.
Thank you.
DK, I really like that song.
Thank you.
I think you have the melody down packed. I was concerned about a little bit of the structure of the song, just exactly where the verses were, and then where you have a B section or a pre-hook before the actual hook. But I think if you speed up the tempo just a little bit more, just to kind of give it a, so it won't be so somber, because we know it's a breakup love song.
Okay.
But I would say if you could kind of speed it up just a little bit, and then also be very cognizant about your structure so that the listener could relate, it takes them back to that same place, they'll know exactly where the hook is, So I didn't know if it was stumbled and fumbled or if it was the line before that that was the hook. But again, I would have to listen to the whole song to be able to determine that. So good job, though.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And by the way, it does get more lighthearted, and I do have a more upbeat version.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like, a breakup, but also moving on and kind of a let go kind of thing. And
yeah.
So
yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing it when you get it done. If you don't have it done already, and finish it up, I would love to hear more instrumentation as well. And I would definitely love to hear it and share it and promote it as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I got to get into a studio, that's for sure. And hopefully soon. I just got my first vaccine and some producer friends. Hopefully I'll be able to meet with soon. And I'm in Los Angeles, but I'm not really a morning person. So thank you for bearing with me.
Thank you, GK.
Thank you. Really appreciate everyone's time. And thank you so much.
All right, everybody, we've got 3 more songs. I'm sorry, I'm trying to go through these as fast as I can. Also, everybody, are all of you going through some breakups right now? I feel like we're going into some emotional stuff right now. But this is awesome. I love doing these listening sessions. So I have 3 more songs. We're gonna pick things back up with Justin and his song Black Skin. So let me just share my screen really quickly. Here we go. All right.
Welcome to the black party for us. Let me hear you say, I'm black and I love it. That's right. If you black, be proud of that. Take no slack. For every color person, here's your power back. If you black, be proud of that. Take no slack. For every color person, here's your power back. Power back. We ready for the fight. We ready for the flight. We take off with no wings despite. We give this world life. It's only right. We demand more than Black Lives Matter on your website. Stay encouraged, young brother. Young sister. The world thrives off of our black fingers. Have the freedom to bring, the love to sing. We the future they can be. Let's stay encouraged, young brother, young sister. Get shade of black stars, light like silver. The push of the black fist, the language of what's happening. You gotta be proud of this black skin. The arc of our country was built in the backs of our black men, our black women. Let's never forget, we've never forgotten what was stolen and broken. Sold for lazy dollars and us hoping, coping. Our moms and dads could only communicate about the rat race. We had to learn about hate. Wanna be us so badly, you trace our black face. You wanna be us, you wanna be us. Who amongst us is the Judas? The hate in the world is robust. Bigger than that, the mass you cast, the vid can't slow down a mask. The skin with this kind of craft. I'm proud to be black. Spirit bounce back. Surface haters really love under that. We brought you inventions, rarely get mentioned unless an item goes missing. Without our swag, everything missing. Stay encouraged, young brother, young sister. The world thrives off of our black fingers. Have the freedom to bring, the love to sing. We the future they can be. Let's stay encouraged, young brother.
All right, that was This Black Skin by Justin. Thank you so much, Justin. What do you think, Tami?
I really didn't have any criticism about it at all. It felt good. It was a good vibe. I love the message behind it. I could definitely hear it being something used in like a movie or a maybe like an empowering message, especially with like the whole Black Lives Matter movement, definitely could hear something that I can hear that it could be used in something that's really more empowering. I also heard children too. Like, I mean, I saw like a vision of like children like kind of rapping it, you know, like as if they were adults with, you know, with adult voices, but just kind of rapping in his voice. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Thank you. That's a dope idea. There is a bridge that's kind of like that. So that's,
shout out to Tami for the idea.
I'm with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. All right, y'all, we have 2 more. Give me just a second. I am going to be sharing Shadow by Miss Elsie. Here we go.
2 years with no sleep. Guess I've been living the dream. I'm sinking. I've hit the bottom. Searching for something to cast aside the feeling. Looking out from behind. I got this energy. I feel it haunting me. I know it's following, and now I've realized I'm a shadow of who I used to be. I'm blending in only, never been so hollow. Feeling incomplete, like I can see through me, but it's making me stronger than yesterday. I'm embracing the other me. I cannot run from reality, 'cause the shadow is me. 2 worlds within me. I don't know who to believe. I'm fading into.
All right, that was Shadow by Miss Elsie. What do we
Amazing work. When is the album dropping? Come on, Elsie, what are we doing?
The album dropped actually, and I will put the link in the chat.
Let me stream that right now. That was awesome. It sounded like a full commercial release. Yeah, this is ready to go. So it's time to get your marketing on, girl.
That's the thing.
Where's the video? What are we doing? What are the plans?
In the works, yeah. Actually, yeah. Video wise, I am literally thinking about that right now. So yeah, I dropped the album already. So there was a bit. This is like my first release, or like album release. So that single is actually quite old.
Okay. Are your songs registered? Did you register them with BMI or ASCAP, whoever you're with?
Yeah, with ASCAP. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So reach out to me when you guys have a solid plan on promo. I just want to make sure we go down a checklist and that you have everything together, from both the sound recording side and the publishing side.
Yeah, I would really appreciate that actually. So thank you, Tami.
Cool. Link in my bio on my Instagram, and I'll follow you back too.
All right. So we've got 1 more, and then we'll be finished for the day. So this is Nobody's Princess by Farah Dorian, who is Emily Rui in the group. She recently just released this.
When no one's there to see me solo, I can almost see a ghost. Can't see it, but I'm totally aching. I'm too young and I never learned. Now my throne's overturned. Where are my soldiers? I'm in alone now. Every time I'm in the light, it's almost like I've seen the darkness crawling there behind the curtains. I'm trying to kill the heartache, but it's still here. back to my forgotten palace. I'm nobody's princess. Don't you know every time I cry, tears are real and the soul don't die. My kingdom fell, but I'm totally breathing fine. I gather all the soul to summon the lords of thunder and the demons, ones that push me further in. Every time I realize it's almost like I've seen the darkness crawling there behind the curtains. I don't wanna steal, but if it's real, then lead me to the end of LA, back to my forgotten palace. I'm nobody's princess.
All right, that was Nobody's Princess by Farrah Dorian.
I love it. I love it. It sounds definitely a movie. Yeah, someone said I can see the movie scene in my head. I feel the exact same way. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful work.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. So Tami, I know we've kept you over. Thank you so much. Anything that you'd like to leave everybody with? Any advice, any links, any promos that you'd like everybody to take with them?
Yes, first of all, I just wanted to thank the Nest Media, the whole entire team. You ladies have been completely supportive of, you know, my brand, as well as, you know, providing and hosting this for me. You know, I was definitely, I think I got reached out to about a couple of months back, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. Also, Justine couldn't make it because she's traveling, so she said thank you.
Yes, I was about to say, where is Justine? But yeah, thank you guys for hosting this. I am so excited about the music and just how much you guys have cultivated in this community. Everything that's coming out of it sounds really dope. So continue. All the best to you guys. Please let me know if you ever need anything else. And to each and every one of you songwriter, producer, creatives that attended this, thank you for, you know, just being here, your questions. And I'm so looking forward to what you guys are producing and coming out with this year. And if you start doing shows and traveling and you ever decide to stop in Atlanta, please stop by my office at the Mezzo Agency. And, you know, let's get everything set up. Let's get you set up and get you prepared, you know, and make sure that, you know, as you're pursuing this, you have your ducks in a row behind the scenes. That is the most important to me, because I definitely am passionate about making sure you guys are protected and that, you know, your business is set up to be able to, you know, see the fruits from your labor.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Tami. And thank you so much to everybody who attended today. If you'd like to check out Tami's page, I put her Instagram in the chat. I also put a link to our community in the chat, and there is a contact sheet that you all are welcome to use as well. We will be back here next week with a conversation on weed in the music industry. So if anyone would like to join that. What was that?
I said I need to attend that one.
Yeah, come through. All right, everybody. We love you all. We love you, Tami. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Next week. Bye.